Hello everyone. Anyway, I feel that I'm now in a position where I can actually give an adequate review of the Honda CB1000R Black Edtion. Now, I had the bike for 2 years, and I've been using it as a daily rider, even in the rain, going to work every day, using it on the weekends, and so on and so on and so on. So in 2 years, I've put approximately just over 29,000 kilometers on it. Actually, very soon I'm going to go get the tires changed. They need a bit of a change, for sure. It's interesting. Now, a lot of people will say the best bike that they've owned is the current one. So I'm not going to say it's the best bike that I've ever owned. I will say, however, it is the best bike that I've owned from this point, because who knows how the next bike will be, right? So, yes, it is full of technology, but it's what I find interesting about it, and I've never experienced this with any of the other bikes that I've owned in the past or other ones that I have currently. That was actually just interesting. Unfortunately, you didn't see it because the camera's pointed towards me, but on the road behind me, there's a few bikes that went by, and there's a girl that was on a Triumph, and she looked a bit like Emma Peel. If you don't know what I mean by that, I'll put up a picture right now. Emma Peel in leather, and you'll see what I mean. Getting back to the 1000R Black Edtion. The reason why I say it's probably the best bike that I've ridden until this point, I'm not going to get into the specs because that's extremely dull, but I'll just tell you my personal experience with it. Number one, the bike is pretty much, how would I put it? If you want to go have fun in the mountains doing twisty roads or on the expressways and doing some speed, hey, it's a lot of fun for that. You put it in the sports mode and away you go. It's also extremely comfortable doing city driving. Now, the last time, I think it was last year, I mentioned that I owned a Ducati for a little bit, and I didn't like it. Specifically for the reason that with the Ducati, I always felt the need to always have to go fast. So if I was in the city, I found the bike very tiring. On the expressways and in the mountains, it was fine, but in the city, I didn't really enjoy it that much. This one, it's sort of like 1 minute you can go completely insane on it, the next minute you can just stop go traffic with no problem at all. The other thing that I find, see if you can hear that. What is that bike? Suzuki. One of the things that I really enjoyed about it, and this is the first bike that I've had with this feature, and I mentioned it before, and that is the quick shifter. Now, I know a lot of people will say, oh, the quick shifter is not real motorcycle riding, and you can't control the clutch and everything. That was kind of my feeling at the beginning. However, that changed after having a quick shifter. And I think I said it previously in one video that I think all bikes should just come automatically with it. So yeah, it's really good for that. Also, I mean, it is a naked bike, and if you do any touring or traveling, a lot of people will be against it. They say a cruiser is much better for it. Well, that's true, but I think there's some naked bikes that touring on would be tiring. Couple of Yamahas and a Suzuki GX and a BMW R19 that just went by. I have toured on this bike and did the trip, which is around Taiwan in less than 24 hours. And it was fine. It is extremely comfortable like that. There are a few things that I did adjust on it last year, which was I adjusted the suspension to make it a little bit more stiff. I found it a little bit soft, but that was pretty much it. And if you have pannier bags, like the ones that I showed in the previous video, you can tour on it no problem. It's extremely comfortable. There are, however, a few little things that I don't like about it, but they're kind of insignificant. If you're using it as a daily rider going to and from work and going into the city and doing what you normally would do, this is not so much of an issue. But if you're doing long trips, cruise control would be a nice option. That is really the only thing that I would really criticize it for, is not having the cruise control. Oh, there is another little niggly thing. But like I said, the things that I don't like about it are not really that important. It's just I would maybe arrange things differently. But for the horn, for example, the position of the horn is very different from other bikes. And it's a Honda thing. It's a little bit annoying, but you kind of get used to it after a while. Somebody was asking me once, what about fuel economy? Well, I don't really think about that so much, but I'll tell you, of course, if you're in stop-and-go traffic, to get a little bit thirsty, that's like any vehicle. On highways, I'm very surprised at how well it does. I've been to Taiwan a few times on the bike, and I can go and return to Taiwan in one tank, and it's around 200 kilometers or so. That's of course on expressway riding, not riding through the mountains. The bike is very nimble, and even though it does have a lot of power, it's not intimidating. Even having taken it on what we call Taiwan's Autobahn, which is in the south of Taiwan, putting it in sports mode, it doesn't feel intimidating like some other bikes. For example, I did find, personally, I found the Ducati a little bit, it wasn't really my favorite. What is that one? Another BMW. Quite a few BMWs I'm seeing today. So yeah, after 2 years, I will have to say that at the moment, this is the best bike that I have ridden so far. Because I have a really good feel for it now. I mean, I was using it every single day, to and from work, even in rain, heading out into the city every now and again, using it on the weekends, doing long trips. I basically use it how most people would use a car. And I was very surprised at how good it was. I mean, this is the one thing about something like Honda. I mean, Honda kind of know what they're doing sometimes. And when they get it right, they get it right. And of course, most of the time they do get it right. Unlike other bikes from other manufacturers that are more toys and you want to have fun with them on the weekend, this is kind of an all-purpose one. The power's there when you want it, and if you want to take it easy, kind of like what I'm doing today, it's also good for that as well. Anyway, let me know what you think, and if this is a bike that you have ridden before, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.